Welcome, guys, to another episode of Reach Your Peak podcast with your host, Bobby Enright. And today's show, we're going to speak about what sets you apart from being able to succeed. So how can you succeed at something? So what do we need to look at in terms of variables there? So we need to look at, first thing is, how can we succeed at something? What's going to set us apart to be a successful person, to be somebody that's going to set a goal for themselves and absolutely go and smash it? So we have a couple of things to think about there. When you're looking to succeed in something, you have to look at the full picture, the full spectrum of what you're trying to achieve. So you've set your goal, you know clearly what it is, you know your why, so you know exactly why you're doing a certain thing. So it's really, really important here that you have a clear vision, guys, of what you want to achieve. What is your why? Is one of the most important things when you're trying to be successful when it comes to any goal, anything you want to achieve. So what is your why? What is your clear vision? What is your clear goal? What is the structure of what you're trying to do? What's the blueprint of how to get there? And we foresee the obstacles before they even come. This is really, really important as well. So from there, we need to look at a few things. And there's a couple of key points when it comes to success and what we need to think. And the first thing is it's going to be 10 times harder than you actually perceive. So in your mind, you have a goal, you have it set, you know what you want to do, you want to lose weight, you want to gain muscle, you want to achieve something in business, you want to do something. So you want to do something out of your comfort zone. You want to do something that you've never done before. So the problem there is you need to understand that this is going to be harder than you potentially think. So we have a perception in our head of how our goal is going to be, and it's going to be perceived a certain way by ourselves. So we have to understand that it's going to be potentially harder. And that's one thing that is going to be challenging to you at the very, very start. So it's really important that you understand that, you acknowledge it, and you say, okay, there's going to be obstacles on the way. And when it does get hard, I know that there's ways around this, that there's ways that I can overcome, because we know once there's obstacles in front of us, we have to treat these as only obstacles, challenges. So how can we overcome a challenge? By maybe taking a different route, a little detour to go around that obstacle. But really important, we acknowledge that, and we know that every goal that we're trying to set for ourselves is not going to be easy. There's reasons why, if you've tried it before, there's reasons why you failed, because it was a lot harder than you perceived. Maybe you've never tried it before and you perceive it to be, okay, that could be no problem. I should be able to lose weight, for instance. But there is going to be times that it's going to be really difficult, and we have to accept that from the start and say there is going to be challenging times, but I'm going to fight through it. I'm going to push myself above and beyond to get to where I need to be. That brings us on to point number 2. And the really, really important thing is you are capable of much more than you've ever dreamed possible. So you can do anything you put your mind to. You can achieve anything you put your mind to. It's just how your mindset is at the start. And that, what I mean by that is you need to have the rock solid, unbreakable mindset at the start. You know, number one, your goal is going to be very, very difficult. You're going to have times of turmoil. You're going to have times of challenges. You're going to have times there's going to be obstacles in your way. Not everything is going to go right. You're possibly going to fail, but you're going to go forward and forward. But but behind everything, if you understand your why, you have to believe that you're capable of achieving it. That's the one thing that's so important when you're goal setting. You have to achieve, you have to perceive it in your mind, okay, this is what it's going to look like, but I do deep down, intrinsically, inside, believe that I can achieve this goal. And that's the number one thing I would say to anybody. Now, we've at number 2 on our list, but a number one mindset little cue is you have to believe it. You know your why, and you believe you can achieve it. And that's so, so important, because you have that inner belief that you can say, okay, I know I can achieve this. It's going to be difficult, but I am capable of achieving this. You believe in yourself, and that's so and so important. And that's really important, guys, because a lot of the time that can be the stumbling block for a lot of people when they're goal setting and trying to achieve something, whether it be weight loss, whether it be training, whether it be a business, whether it be anything at all. It can be so important that you have to believe you're capable of achieving something. And that's so, so important. The next thing we look at, and we bring us on to what sets us apart to succeed, is we have to understand that nobody can do it for us. You have to do it for yourself. We can have coaches, we can have mentors, we can have family members, we can have friends, we can have all these people around us, But at the end of the day, we're solely going to achieve this ourselves. So we're the one that's in control. We're the one that has to be there every day, show up, do the things that are required, hit the training sessions, stay within the macros we've set for ourselves, stay within our food structure, hit our daily goals, hit our daily targets, look after our sleep, look after our recovery. We're the ones that are in control of that. And that's what's so important. We have to control that. We have to understand that's us, and we're the ones that are going to be that will have to take control, and at the end of the day, take the actions and build the behaviors and habits towards success. So that's so important. And off that point as well is, if anybody can do it, if anybody else can achieve something, so if you look at somebody and you admire them and you say, oh wow, that they've lost all that weight, or they've gained, they look great and I'm really happy with them, or they train really hard, or if they can do it, you can do it. Do you know, you could ask that person, you could say, do you know what, how did you achieve that weight loss? Oh, I did this to X, Y, and Z. Maybe it might be applicable to you. Maybe it's not. Maybe it isn't exactly the structure that they have done for their goal is not exactly how you possibly could structure yours, but you could work off that blueprint. You could say, do you know, if they did that process and it's something I can really achieve, absolutely go for it. So you have to look at it. Number one, you're the one that has to show up every day, and you're the one that has to put in the work. And the other thing is, if you admire somebody that has done something and you say, right, I wonder how they did it, ask them. Because if they achieve something, you can achieve something. And that's something you have to believe in. The next point, guys, that brings us on for succeed. If you want to succeed at a goal, you have to not quit. You are going to fail. You are going to have obstacles. You're going to be in a place some days you just don't feel it. You're feeling lethargic. You're feeling tired. You're feeling demotivated. You're looking for motivation. It's raining outside. You're making excuses. You're building walls. You're doing all these things. But what you have to understand is, do not quit. Write that down. When you're goal setting and you're writing down your goal, you're writing down these points. Do not quit. I will not quit. And that's what you need to say. You need to say it to yourself. I will not quit. There's time, and you accept that there's going to be challenges ahead. You accept it's going to be 10 times harder than what you thought. You accept that the goal you set is going to be so difficult, but you can get there. And the only thing that's going to stop you getting to your goal is yourself and quitting. You do not want to quit. You want to carry on. You want to be successful. You want to gain confidence. You want to build your motivation. You want to build habits. You want to build behaviors. You don't do that by quitting. So that's the number one thing as well. You need to think when it comes to mindset. You write this down. I will not quit on this goal. I will not quit. It's like if it's a life or death situation, you have a choice. Are you going to quit and just take that loss? Are you going to go? Are you going to drive forward? You're going to drive forward because you believe in yourself. You believe in your why. You understand why you have this goal. You have a clear vision. You believe if that person can achieve it, I can achieve it. And you believe in yourself, and you believe that you can take the actions and behaviors forward to achieve it. So you're not going to quit. You have to look at then the long term. If you're looking at a goal, it can't be a short term. So what I mean by that is, it can't be just a short term goal. Oh, I want to get in shape for this X. You have to look at the bigger picture. If you want to truly lose weight and change your life, you play the long game. You look at the process it's going to take, and you play that long game. And you say, right, I'm doing this for myself. Say if somebody wants to lose weight, they know their why. They just want to feel better when they walk around. They want to look better. They might want to be in better shape for their husband or wife or partner or whatever. They might just physically feel like all their life they weren't in the shape that they aspire to be, and that's their clear and utter why they want to achieve something. So it's really, really important that once we know your why, once you know your why, then it's so important that you play that long game from your goal. You understand, okay, the process and structure that goes into it. You know your why. You believe in yourself. You're not going to quit on this, but you have to play the long game in terms of planning. You have to say, this is for the rest of my life. I'm changing my lifestyle to improve the rest of my life. And then you're going to play that longer game, not a short-term gratitude where, oh, I just want to lose weight for this wedding that's coming up, because you're just working short-term. You're not thinking long-term. You're not thinking beyond that point. And the problem is we're all drilled down to that. And then when that's gone, there's nothing. So we don't have that long-term plan. So it's really important you think of long-term fulfillment, guys. You want to change your body. You want to change your life. You want to change whatever's in your life. And you're looking to long-term. You're saying, in 20 years' time, I'm going to still be in this place where I've changed and I'm going to be driving forward. I'm going to be a better version of myself every single day going forward. So we're always looking at the long game. It's just like business. We don't have any short-term goals in business. We have long-term goals in business. Where do we want to be in 5 years? Where do we want to be in 10 years? So important that we look at that in terms of in terms of what we want to achieve. It's so important because our business plan is not just, okay, I want to be here in a month. I want to be here in a year. I want to be here in 3 years. I want to be in this position in 5 years. I want to be financially stable in 10 years. I want to own my business completely outright in 15 years, whatever it may be. So playing the long game business-wise is the same as you setting goals for yourself, your own health, your own lifestyle, changing that, making these behaviors, making these actions every day. You want to do these for the rest of your life. That's why when you're setting goals and you're taking on different behaviors, changing your lifestyle around, that you have to look at it and say, okay, I need to really focus on changing my behaviors and lifestyles for the rest of my life. So important. And then the next thing, guys, and this is so important as well, is challenge everything you think you know. So if you say, oh, I know how to lose weight, it's all about just eating less food, moving more. It's a calorie deficit, I know. Challenge that. What is a calorie deficit? Do you truly understand what a calorie deficit is? Do you know what it is? Are you actually in a calorie deficit? If you've been trying to lose weight before and you didn't succeed, what went wrong? So challenge the system that you thought you knew. Challenge maybe you're eating too little food. That's why it's not working. Your body's in a high stress state. So this is the process you thought worked for you, and suddenly it doesn't. So now you challenge what you think you know. You challenge the system, you challenge what you do. If you've got a coach, you ask the coach, why am I on these calories? Why is my training split this way? Why have I to walk these amount of steps a day? What is NEAT? I thought walking was no good for weight loss. Why is walking so good for weight loss? Okay, and you challenge everything you thought you know, and you're really going to build on your skills and your education. And that can cross boundaries for everything from your job to your lifestyle to your family. You challenge yourself all the time. And it's so important you do that, because that's what's going to make you successful at the end of the day. Now, if we go back to the very, very start of where we were goal setting, and we understand when we set a goal, it's going to be so much harder than we thought. There is going to be times that we're going to fail, but we have to understand that is going to come up. So we now know the goal we've set for ourselves is not going to be easy. The next thing, you're capable of achieving anything you put your mind to it. It's just the never quit is going to be the key to success. Whatever obstacles come in your way, literally, you need to be showing up every day. You take the hits and you say, no, I'm getting up and I'm moving forward. I did not succeed today, but I will succeed tomorrow. I did not succeed this week, but I will succeed next week. So important. And you have to understand, guys, if you aspire to be anybody, don't just admire them. Admire what they've done. Don't aspire to be them. Just admire, okay, I admire that person for what they've achieved, but I'm my own person. And if they can do it, I can do it. And this is how I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to quit. I know I'm capable of this goal. And I know it's going to be harder than what I think. And then that brings you down to long term. You're really thinking about when you change, when you're trying to succeed, think of the long game. Always play that long game. Where am I going to be in 5 years' time? Where am I going to be in 10 years' time? This is so important, because if we play short game all the time, we're always just getting to that point and then we're like, oh, what do we do now? So we're always going to be fighting that kind of wheel of fortune where we fall off and get on and fall off and get on, and we're jumping back and forth. Hence, we go for January every year and everybody wants to lose the Christmas weight. And where are they 6 weeks later? Because they go all in, oh, I'll get this done by February. And then suddenly they're back to square one by the end of February because they're demotivated, they've fallen off. It's short term, they're thinking, not long term. So you have to think long term, so important. And again, guys, challenge every single thing you know. Challenge yourself on a daily basis. Look at what you're doing and say, do you know what, I think this is the right way to do it, but is it the right way to do it? Do I understand fully why I'm eating 1,700 calories a day? Why am I eating 130 grams of protein? If you're not even at that point, why am I adding more vegetables to my diet? Why am I adding more lean proteins to my diet? Why am I eating carbohydrates around my training sessions? Why do I have to sleep 6 to 8 hours a night? What about if I only sleep 5 hours a night? If I stay up and watch TV all night and I haven't got great sleep, why is my sleep bad? You have to challenge everything, because from challenging yourself, you're going to educate yourself. And that is so important. So when you're goal setting, guys, it's so important for you to have that information inbuilt in your brain, and set out from the start. It's like you're going on a journey and you understand what it takes to get there. Okay, if you're driving to the next county and you know it's 4 hours away, you do know that the little towns you're going to go through, you know where the pit stops are, you know how long it's going to take you to get there, you know what it's going to be like when you get there. That's what you need to envision with your goals, and that's why we need to do this, because this is going to make such a difference to us long term in terms of our success. So important. And that's what sets people apart that succeed, and that's what can set you apart for succession. If you think this way, you map out everything from the start. You're absolutely honest with yourself from the very get-go of how difficult it's going to be, that you're not going to quit on yourself, that there is going to be obstacles and there is going to be areas of failure and times of failure. There is going to be weeks and days with no progression moving forward. You're going to be knocked back, but you're going to say to yourself, I'm not going to quit, I'm going to move to the next day. You're going to challenge every single thing you do and understand why you do it, and understand why you're instilling certain behaviors. Because if you do that, then these behaviors are going to become habits. These habits are going to stack on top of each other, and suddenly you're starting to change your lifestyle, because you've played the long game. You've not played that short game. You've not went for that short-term gratitude. You've went for that long-term fulfillment. You've went for something that's going to really challenge you, but you can see the bigger picture beyond a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. You can see a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road where you'll actually be. How many people have lost weight and completely transformed their life because they played that long game? They looked to the future of where they could be in a year's time, 2 years' time. They didn't just say, oh, I want to lose weight in 6 weeks. Because at the end of the day, you're always in that 6 week cycle in your head. You're always fighting 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 weeks, and you never get out of it. And you're stuck there. And you're in that rat race of that turnover. We need to be in the long game. We need to change our habits, our behaviors, and our actions. We set a blueprint and we move forward and we change our life and we keep going and we never give up. That's going to be the key to success. And that's what's going to set you apart, guys, from somebody that doesn't think this way. You will succeed if you plan and strategize exactly this way. So important at the moment, and I think so relevant as well to people, because COVID is here. Everybody's in lockdown. Everybody is looking for a little bit of motivation. But maybe if we look at it from a different perspective and we start to plan our goals a little bit different, set a long-term goal, set something that's really going to challenge you in the long term. And then just build structures on a daily basis. Little things you can do. Change one thing at a time to get to that long-term fulfillment. And over time, you'll stack habits. You'll get better. You'll have bad days. You'll have good days. But all in all, you're still moving forward. Every day is an opportunity to grow and be better. And it's just you that's going to choose, am I actually going to stand still and be static, or am I actually going to move forward and grow? And if some days, if you don't move forward, you make that decision the next day, I am going to move forward. So you're continuously working on yourself and your self-development, your self-thought, your self-care as well, looking after yourself as well at times. And just, do you know what? And like I said, challenging your education, challenging what you're doing. Don't just say, I want to lose weight and I know I have to just eat less food and stop eating crap. That's fine. But educate yourself more. Find out what calories are. Find out what macros are. How can I track these? Portion control, different types of vegetables, different types of fruits. Educate yourself on the goal that you want. Challenge yourself, because that's going to empower you even more, because now you have a deeper understanding of what you're trying to achieve, and then how the body is going to achieve that. And then you can, because we all work on ourselves with meditation and de-stressing strategies and all this kind of stuff, why not educate ourselves on the goals that we're trying to achieve? If somebody comes to me and they want to run a marathon, I'd say, okay, this is how you're going to get there. How much running you're doing at the moment, and you want to go from 0 to 42 kilometers. This is the process you have to go through, and this is what you have to understand from a muscular level, a physiological level, and a cellular level, what's happening in the body as we increase our training load and we build that endurance into our legs over a period of time. And if I'm working with somebody and I'm explaining this to somebody, how much more empowered are they going to be when they go out onto their runs and they're fully understanding why today we're doing a 7-minute mile and why tomorrow we're doing a 9-minute mile and why we're doing X distance today and we're doing less distance next week and more distance the week after. We're tapering our running, we're periodizing our running, and you understand that. You're going to be so much more confident in your abilities then because you understand exactly what you're doing. It's like I said, going back to that analogy of going on a journey, what do we have? We have a map. We don't know where we're going, so we're going to get a map and find out. And that's the same as any goal you have. So that's what sets people apart, guys, that succeed. They have this strategy, they have this plan, they have this thought process, they go through it. And if you implement everything I've said here, I can guarantee you 100% you will be successful in this lockdown, because we know it's going for another period of time. You will be successful. You will achieve exactly what you want to achieve. So important you believe in yourself. So go out and set your goals and get this thought process going. Okay, guys, so thanks a million for listening to another episode of Reach Your Peak podcast with your host, Bobby Enright. I'm very, very grateful for everybody who listens to the podcast, shares it on their social media, and again, comments and asks questions. That's what I'm looking for every week, is just to challenge yourself, guys. Ask questions. If you don't know something, ask somebody who knows. If I don't know it, I'll ask somebody who I know and get the best response I can possible for you. So reach out and empower yourself with the knowledge. Really, really important. Have a great week, guys. And we have a special guest on next week, so it's something to look forward to. Will be on a podcast will be joining me on the podcast next week. So something to look forward to. I've been trying to get this guest on for a while, so she's coming on next week. Will be an entertaining little episode, finding out the ins and outs of her career and where she started and where she is now, and something I think everybody will be very, very interested in. So again, guys, have a fantastic week, and we will catch everybody next week on another episode of Reach Your Peak podcast.